Dragon Ball Galaxy, Human-Saiyan War Arc, Chapter 1, Act 1, First Contact. Summer, age 743. Two alien pods enter the Sol system. They fly at near-light speed as they pass Pluto, Saturn, and Mars. Their target, Earth. The day began like every other day. People rose from beds, showered, brushed their teeth, and ate breakfast. Children go to school, and adults went to work or go on runs. Meanwhile, somewhere inside of a control room that had multiple consoles with people working on them, one console begins to ping on a dashboard. The worker at the console glances at the screen. A surprised look appears on his face. He picks up a telephone and begins to speak into it. The two pods enter Earth's atmosphere, creating a sonic boom. Their trajectory was toward a large coastal metropolis called Top City. The denizens of the city hear the sonic boom and look up and see the pods. They crash in the middle of a busy street, thus forming a large crater. The people in the area surround the large crater made by the pods. Some had their phones out, taking pictures and videos. The two pods open, and two human-like aliens step out. Both of them are wearing black battle armor with brown-colored pauldrons. One with very long spiky hair and was taller than the other one was named Raditz. The other one, who was his brother, was named Kakarot. The people were amazed to see aliens for the first time, and even more amazed to see that these two aliens that came out of the pods looked like humans with brown tails. The two Saiyans levitate into the air about 10 meters from the ground. Spectators continued to take pictures and record videos. Even a news crew came and began to broadcast it globally.
We're broadcasting this to you live from Top City. What you're seeing is two aliens floating in the air. Moments ago, they arrived in these space pods. It would seem that the question to if we are alone in the universe has been answered. Wait a minute. One of the aliens with long hair is raising his hand. What is he?
The large screen inside a control room abruptly cuts out. Two men were standing in front of the screen. On the left was a Caucasian man in his 40s. He had short, dirty blonde hair and hazel eyes. He also had a large scar that went down his left cheek. He was wearing a dark navy blue long pea coat with yellow collar and cuffs. He also wore a white scarf and military officer hat with white trousers and white gloves. On the right side of his chest was a golden earth insignia badge with letters that read EDF, Director. His name was Rayleigh. On his left was a dark-skinned man in his mid-20s. He has a black-colored afro and black eyes. He is wearing dark gray trousers with ankle-high combat boots and a blue sleeveless shirt. His name, Mercury. As soon as the screen went black, the alarms began to sound. Everyone felt the whole building shake slightly.
Director! Satellite imaging shows that 70% of Top City has been completely destroyed.
Show me the satellite footage.
The officer nods and types on his keyboard. The screen flashes and changes into the image of the city. Personnel gasped at the screen. It showed a massive crater of what was Top City. Only a few buildings closer to the sea and some buildings were left standing. The screen also showed two red dots that began to move west away from the sea.
Sir, it looks like their next target is Centra City, and they're moving fast. They will reach the city in less than 20 minutes.
Rayleigh turns towards Mercury.
Centra City is close to us. Captain, ready your team. Do not let them reach their next target.
Understood, Director.
Mercury runs out the control room and towards the barracks. He enters and three men stand at attention.
Star Team, we're on the clock. Gear up. This is threat level Slug. We're going in at full power.
The Star Team is an elite team led by Captain Mercury, and his second in command is First Lieutenant Jack. A bald, dark-skinned man in his 30s. Jack is also Mercury's cousin. The other two men with them are Corporal Lawson and Private Clayton. They all put on their EDF armor and made their way out to the airfield. There, EDF personnel was running around doing various jobs as well as sending rescue teams via aerial transports to Top City. The Star Team then flies off in a delta formation to intercept the threat. Meanwhile, the Saiyans were several miles from Centra City when they stopped suddenly. Their scouters began to beep rapidly on their left eye. They turned toward the direction it was pointing.
Well, look at that! It looks like your wish is coming true, brother. I'm picking up high power levels coming toward us.
Their strongest is 850. That's pretty impressive.
It didn't take too long for the Star Team to catch up with them. The two Saiyans waited with their arms crossed and a smirk on their faces. Mercury was the first to speak.
I'm Captain Mercury, Earth Defense Fighters, Star Team Division. Identify yourselves. Why have you committed this act of war against humanity?
Is it not obvious? This planet would sail very high in the market, and we Saiyans plan on cleansing the planet of this filth.
Clayton and Lawson looked at each other in confusion.
Saiyan? What's a Saiyan?
We Saiyans are a mighty warrior race from planet Sadala. I am Kakarot, and this is my brother Raditz.
I'm going to say this once. Leave our planet, or we will use force.
The two Saiyan brothers look at each other, their smile widening. They then fly down to the surface below on a green pasture. The Star Team followed. When they landed, Lawson leans over to Jack.
I just scanned their power. The one called Kakarot is 1,000, and Raditz is 1,200. Do you think we can win?
We have to win. 8 billion lives are counting on us. We cannot lose. If we defeated Slug, then we'll certainly defeat these Saiyans.
Lawson and Clayton will take Kakarot. Jack and I will take Raditz. Remember your training, and we will win.
While they paired off and faced their foes, Raditz and Kakarot stood tall, and the four humans lowered into their fighting stance. Mercury and Jack are the first to charge at a smirking Raditz. Lawson and Clayton followed suit and charged at Kakarot. The humans started with a strong offense against the Saiyans. Mercury and Jack kept putting pressure on Raditz, but the Saiyan dodged, blocked, and parried their attacks. Lawson and Clayton too were putting pressure on Kakarot, but the Saiyan soon saw an opening and counters Clayton's attack with a swift kick that sends the human flying a few meters away. Kakarot then focuses on Lawson, who struggles to keep up with the Saiyan. Raditz too sees an opening and counters Mercury's haymaker with a roundhouse kick, sending him airborne. He then fires a ki wave at Mercury, who barely dodges it, but a piece of his armor is seared. The beam impacts a nearby mountain and completely destroys it in a massive explosion. Mercury quickly realizes that they can't beat them with sheer power. They would have to use tactics. Kakarot gains the upper hand and completely dominates Lawson and Clayton. In a desperate attempt, the two humans fired a combined ki wave at the Saiyan. Kakarot opens his mouth, and a ki wave burst forth and consumes the combined ki wave along with Lawson and Clayton, vaporizing them. Jack gets distracted by Lawson and Clayton's death and takes a hit in the back by Raditz. He is sent crashing through a small batch of trees before coming to a halt. Kakarot brushes off dust from his armor.
Heh, I will admit it. They are pretty tough. For Earthlings.
Jack wipes away blood from his lips as Mercury joins him.
This isn't good. They're too strong for us to take them on one-on-one.
Slug was strong too, but we won. We have to fight smart with these two. Remember what Master Mutaido always told us about facing stronger enemies?
Anticipation. Got it.
Mercury then races towards Raditz. When he got close, he throws a punch at him. But the Saiyan sees it coming and was about to counter, but suddenly he felt an intense pressure in the middle of his chest. He looks down and sees that Mercury kicked him in his sternum. It broke a piece of his armor while also dazing him. Mercury then key-laces his fist and throws haymakers, one after another, at Raditz's face. Kakarot dashes at Jack, who anticipates that the Saiyan would attack his right side. And he was right. Kakarot does an afterimage and attacks his right side with a haymaker. Jack blocks it, grabs the Saiyan's arm and flips him on his back. Still holding his arm, Jack then hurls Kakarot into a nearby mesa. Later, Raditz regains his composure and attempts to counter Mercury with a point-blank ki blast to his chest, but Mercury anticipates it and counters with a 1-inch punch in the Saiyan's chest, knocking him a few meters back. Raditz skid to a stop. The pain he had in his chest was extreme.
How is this possible? Me, getting overpowered by a mere Earthling!
Mercury then powers up as his white aura envelops him. He begins to charge a yellow ki energy in his right hand. Raditz's scouter then begins to beep rapidly. He presses the button and is shocked at what he sees.
What's with this power? It's over 1,000! Unbelievable! And it's still going up!
Mercury thrusts his right hand forward and a large beam explodes from his hand towards Raditz. The Saiyan evades the beam, but Mercury maneuvers the beam to follow him. Raditz finally turns around and sticks out both hands to block it. The beam impacts him, and he is consumed in a massive explosion. The smoke clears, and he is seen still holding out both of his burnt and sizzling hands with his gauntlets completely blown away. Raditz realizes that it took him almost all his power to survive it.
Mercury looks at the corner of his eye and sees that Jack was preparing to throw a mighty punch with everything he has at Kakarot. Mercury then dashed at Raditz, who lowered into a fighting stance, but suddenly Mercury stops and puts his hands up to his face and yells,
Solar flare!
Raditz screams in pain and is blinded by the bright light. Mercury dashes behind Kakarot and puts him in a full Nelson, and then evades just in time as Jack's fist connects with Kakarot's face. The Saiyan tail spins into the air and crashes next to Raditz unconscious. Raditz regains his sight and sees Mercury and Jack standing side by side in their fighting stance facing him. He looks down and sees his brother unconscious.
That was for Lawson and Clayton.
This can't be! Humans were supposed to be weak! There is no way I will be beaten by the likes of you!
Raditz then takes out a device and presses a button, calling their pods to them. When it landed and opened, he picks up his brother and places him in the second pod and enters his pod. And before the pod closes, he looks at the duo with a wicked smile.
Enjoy the rest of your miserable lives! I give you 1 year! More Saiyans will come, and they are 3 times stronger than we are! You made a grave mistake for making the Saiyan Imperium your enemy!
The pods close and launch into the air. Mercury and Jack collapse to the ground extremely exhausted. Jack presses a button on his watch and calls for a medical unit to pick them up and bring them back to EDF headquarters. After receiving extensive medical treatment, they recovered after a whole day of rest. Soon, they were with Director Rayleigh, who was debriefing them. Mercury and Jack report on what Raditz told them before he left.
I don't know if he is trying to scare us or what, but this Saiyan Imperium sounds like big trouble for Earth. And to add to that, 6 more are coming, and they are 3 times stronger.
He also did say that they might arrive in 1 year.
In 1 year? That's a short amount of time to prepare, but we have to try. Any suggestions?
Well, I heard that Capsule Corp has developed a prototype gravity chamber. We could use that to get stronger.
We'll also need to recruit more members for the Star Team.
I can assist as well.
Everyone is startled to see that Piccolo was with them the whole time. He literally appeared out of nowhere.
Hey, Piccolo! Good to see you again.
Likewise, my friend. Director Rayleigh, I can take only one person to King Kai. He has agreed to help train them for the coming threat.
Rayleigh leans back in his chair and scratches his head.
All right, then. Captain, you are now assigned with Piccolo. He will take you to train with this King Kai. Train hard, because we'll need it. Also, Lieutenant, I want you to handpick new members for the Star Team. Train them hard, too.
I'll have Mr. Popo assist in training the Star Team as well.
Mercury and Jack nod as they accept their new assignment. Jack leaves the room as Mercury approaches Piccolo.
Ready when you are.
Piccolo smiles and nods. Mercury places his hand on his shoulder and they vanished. They appear on a long road that looked like a giant snake.
Whoa. What is this place?
This is Snake Way. Remember climbing to get to the lookout? That was a trial of endurance. This is too, but much more difficult and longer. Get to the end, and you will meet King Kai. Be careful not to fall off. It will take you to a void dimension where you will be lost to time. Farewell.
Well, better get moving.
Mercury begins his journey down Snake Way. Days turned into weeks and weeks turned into months. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the Star Team trained rigorously with Mr. Popo, and within the gravity room, they increased their strength exponentially. Director Rayleigh was able to convince the World Council to receive funding and resources to launch an early warning network of satellites. With this, the sensor network range reached as far as Pluto. Meanwhile, after 3 months, Mercury finally reaches the end of Snake Way. He looked around and is confused.
Am I missing something? This is the end, but everything looks the same.
He continues to look around the area. Finally, he looks up and sees a green sphere. He could see what looks like a single tree with a house on it.
Is that it? That's way too small to be a planet. There's no way that's it. Oh well. One way to find out.
He flies toward the small planet. After a few seconds, he feels an immense pull. He was no longer flying to the planet, but falling. He lets out a scream as he crashes on the small world flat on his chest. Mercury felt the crushing weight of the high-gravity world. The crash knocked the air out of him. He was unable to breathe for seconds. It felt like eternity. Finally, he was able to take a difficult, deep breath. He used every ounce of strength to stand on his feet. He was unaware that he was being watched.
Well, you must be Mercury. That was quite a fall you had there.
Mercury looks up and sees a tall, thin, pale purple man with antennas standing before him with his hands behind his back. He looked disappointed at what had arrived.
I am, and you must be King Kai. I was sent here to be trained by you.
So I've heard. And they expect me to train a human to beat a Saiyan.
Well, I was able to defeat the previous ones. So, with your training, I should be able to defeat the ones coming.
Doubtful, but I owe Piccolo a favor. Okay, let's get started.
Planet Sadala, a high-gravity turquoise world with 2 yellow moons orbiting a red giant star. On the surface was a city, but hanging over it was a massive castle on a cliff. Inside the throne room were 2 female Saiyans. One was sitting on the throne. She was wearing a white and red tunic and breastplate armor. Her hair was jet black, spiky, and was a little shorter than Raditz's. She is Queen Hanasha. The other one was different. The other Saiyans in the room had hair color ranging from black, dark blue, and brown. She was the only green. Her armor was black and green with no pauldron. Her name is Lisa. They were viewing a screen showing the battle between their Saiyans and the Star Team.
Who are these Earthlings? Besides the other 2 that were easily eliminated, they were able to defeat them.
The one with the thick hair is called Mercury, and the bald one is Jack. They say that they're the Star Team from the Earth Defense Fighters. Mercury's power level is 850, and Jack is 825.
Pathetic low class. The Earthlings think we would give up that easily. Lisa, which group is closest to Earth?
Bardock and his elite squad.
Send them to Earth, then. However, I want you to prepare an invasion force. If Bardock fails, then I want you to go.
Yes, my queen. It shall be done.
Lisa bows and walks out the throne room. Before she exits, she glances back at the screen for a moment, and then at Hanasha, then leaves. The spaceport was busy. Lisa flew over to the landing site. There, Saiyan pods were launching and landing. When she arrived, she meets up with 4 more Saiyans. One female named Inya, and the other 3 are males, Pinu, Selar, and Potao. Pinu was the first to approach her.
So, it's true. These Earthlings caused 2 low classes to retreat.
It is. Bardock's team is now being sent there. However, the Queen wants me to prepare an invasion force if they fail.
Once again, we are going to annihilate another species that are just defending their home. Just like the Plorians.
Lisa glares at Inya for a moment, and then turns to Pinu.
Pinu, I want you to come with me to Kanase. The invasion fleet is forming there. We're going to Earth.
To be continued.